UFC Vancouver just ended. I just watched Reinier the Ritter quit on live television, and a very interesting up and down card of controversy and good performances all around though. I give the card about an 8.5 out of 10, but a lot of controversy. But the fights that did end up going to a decision were all good fights, so I can't complain too much. Good finishes, a ton of finishes on the card, and I'm going to be covering from the prelims to the main event. But I will say that all around, very good card. I was just amazed at a lot of the mistakes that the refs made during the card, and just what I thought could have happened, what didn't happen. And let's just go ahead and go right into the first fight with Melissa Croden getting her UFC debut victory in Canada. Great performance by her on the feet all around. Thought she looked great. Excited to see her in the Octagon again. Azmat versus Yusri Belgarwe. Yusri trains with Pereira and Glover Teixeira MMA. And just another one of these middleweights that is just like, how does this guy make the weight class? But all around, great performance. He's a heavy-handed middleweight. And his UFC debut, his last fight on the Dana White Contender Series, gets into the UFC and just puts on a masterclass performance. Stops Azmat and just overwhelmed him all. I mean, he just put it on him. I think it'll be interesting to see his takedown defense if it holds up with some of the other middleweights. But on the feet, another one of these heavy-handed guys who is looking to put your lights out. So this guy's on the radar now. Yusri, I'm excited to see him in his next fight. But moving on, we got Stephanie Luciano. Shout out to the strawweights, man. The strawweights are always pretty exciting, man. And with the women's divisions, how flexible in the kickboxing that they have is insane. The way that they can snap and whip kicks around is not like what a lot of the, especially at the higher weight classes for the men's, you just don't see a lot of the kicks and the snap that they have. I think there's a lot of fun fights that the women put on. And I was very entertained by this fight. This is a banger fight. Stephanie just absolutely put it on Oliveira. But Brazil versus Brazil, man, we got to do better with the matchmaking. We got to stop putting them up against each other. But Stephanie, I mean, she looked great in this fight. I'm excited to see her again. But moving on, my personal fight of the night, Danny Barlow versus Santos here. Just banger fight. Shout out Memphis, Tennessee. Shout out Danny Barlow. But man, Santos coming back after the whooping Barlow put on him in round one. What an amazing performance by him. And I thought Barlow looked great in round one. I was like, he was my pick to win this fight. But I was very impressed with how Santos was able to come back and bounce back after being down 0-1 and just taking an absolute whooping. So 29-28, good scorecard. Moving on, Bruno Silva. Ranked flyweights on the prelims. Bruno Silva, ranked 15, ends up subbing Hyung Sung Park. I thought it was a good fight all around. Bruno Silva is just an all around good flyweight. Good on the ground, good on the feet, and subs Park by rear naked. It was a good fight. Arichi Long versus Cody Gibson. Very confusing what Cody Gibson's game plan was. But for Arichi Long, just quick night at the office, 20 seconds, puts Cody's lights out. Cody just comes out in round one, leaves his chin wide open, swinging at Arichi Long, and I don't know what he was doing. That early in the fight, you just do not want to leave your chin open, especially you didn't do anything yet. I mean, you just got into the cage and you're just leaving your chin wide open. Somebody's lights are going out, and it was Cody's night for his lights to go out. Sorry, but Arichi Long, good KO, great performance by him for what it was. And starting with some controversy. Low blow by Drew Dober. Point gets taken from him. And then he gets a finish right after the point was taken. Drew Dober did what he was supposed to do in this fight. He made Kyle really work. And it was a banger fight all around. Drew ends up throwing a low kick at Kyle. Kick gets checked. Drew Dober's leg is split wide open from where the kick was checked. And then the low blow happens. Do you take a point? Do you not take a point? What's going on here? I thought the way that the ref handled it was really good. But Drew Dober is always going to be in these exciting firefights, and he is a fan favorite for a reason. He's one of the most exciting fighters on the UFC roster, no doubt. He's must-see TV every time he's on a card. He just brings the fights, right? But Kyle, man, I thought he looked good. He really did look good in this fight. The low blow is just a controversy, and another low blow in the co-main that I'll be getting into. But good performance by Drew Dober. He did what he was supposed to do. After the point was taken, puts out Kyle, and he just did what he was supposed to do. And despite the controversy, despite what the crowd says, crowd was giving him hell in there. But I mean, it's what he was supposed to do. And Matt Frevola versus Kyle Nelson. Another fight with controversy. Kyle Nelson has Matt Frevola in trouble with the last 10 seconds in the round. Last 10-second marker goes off, and Dan Miragliotta stops the fight with 3 seconds still on the clock in the first round. Kyle Nelson is walking over to Frevola thinking, hey, good fight. And then it just cuts to both of them on the stool. It was a very weird situation. I'm really glad Kyle Nelson did pull out the decision, because it just sucks when you pour your gas tank out. You're looking for a finish, and you are working so hard for a finish. Ref pulls you off, and that's the result. I'm glad that Kyle Nelson did get this victory. I thought he did look good in the fight. Thought Frevola could have capitalized on some situations, but the scrambles and the grappling was pretty sweet. But 29-28 or 30-27, Kyle Nelson, I'm not too mad at either of those scorecards, but really glad that Kyle pulled it out, because, I mean, that was just a very unfortunate situation for him if he wasn't able to pull that out. But shout out Charles Jourdain, man. Charles Jourdain, the two brothers in the UFC now. Shout out his brother for getting a contract. Very entertaining fight, and what a performance on Davey Grant. Davey Grant is a tough bantamweight. And what Charles Jourdain just did with the flying knees and subbing him by guillotine, outstanding performance. I was very impressed by Charles Jourdain. One of the best performances on the card. I am very excited for his next fight, and the improvement that I saw in him tonight, I was very impressed. Moving forward, Mignon Fiorot, quick KO over Jasmine. I mean, she looked great in this fight. You got to give her a title shot at flyweight. Give her the winner of Weili and Shevchenko. Fiorot really should just get a title shot. She looked great. She's number 2. Gets a KO victory. Just give her the title shot. Chito Vera versus Ariel Helwani. Ayman Zahabi. Just another one of these cases where I thought Chito's output could have been a bit more if and he just wasn't. He wasn't landing enough significant strikes for Zahabi to not get this victory. I mean, Ayman Zahabi really just put it on Chito Vera in the last 2 rounds. I thought round 1 and round 3 for Zahabi, Chito did catch him with the jab in round 2. But round 1, round 3, Zahabi's output was just a bit more, and he was a bit of a cleaner striker, to where Chito just didn't do enough. It was another one of these cases, split decision, where you're just like, if you're Chito Vera in there, just go. Just go just a bit more, and you can pull this victory out. It was a 50-50 fight for most of it. Just a bit more output, and you can win this fight. Use the kicks, use the legs, use your range, use the jab. Easier said than done, but another winnable fight that Chito Vera drops, and it just sucks, because I enjoy watching Chito every time he's in there. He's got a great gas tank. He's got finishing ability. He just needs to put it together. But Ayman Zahabi, working his way into that top 5, calls out the Sugar Show. Doubt he gets that fight, but I'm excited to see what's next for him. Bantamweight's got some more movement. And co-main event. Just an interesting fight. Kevin Holland gets a groin strike in round 1. I mean, just wild stuff, honestly. I don't know what you do about this. I think if you're Kevin Holland, I wouldn't have continued if it was that bad, because you see him at the end of the round and you're like, I mean, it doesn't look like he can move. He's on the ground, and why was a point not taken? The fight earlier in the card with the groin strike in the Drew Dober fight, point is taken and it's made clear. Like, I know it wasn't intentional, but it was a vicious groin strike. Where's the consistency is going to be the message after this card. If you're Kevin Holland, it's an unfortunate loss by decision, but it's not a significant loss to where it's like, okay, you got whooped the fight. I mean, you threw more strikes than Mallot, but Mallot did land the more significant blows. Definitely the heavier hitter in this fight. But for Kevin Holland, hopefully we get to see him again in 2025, get his 6th fight in the UFC. That would be sweet. But just an unfortunate night at the office for Kevin Holland. But, you know, these nights end up happening. And it's unfortunate, but that's the fight game. I would have really liked to have seen this fight as a 50-50 fight without the low blow. But if you're Mike Mallot, you did what you had to do to win, and that's all that matters. Reinier de Ridder. Man, Brendan Allen just, wow, what a performance. I don't think many people saw this fight going Brendan Allen's way. Just off of the fact of what we've seen from Reinier de Ridder in his previous fights with Bo Nickel, coming off the Bo Nickel fight, and, you know, beating Robert Whittaker. I really think that Reinier de Ridder is just like, I thought he was a contender now, and now I'm just questioning, like, wow, how good is Brendan Allen? But Reinier de Ridder comes out looking good in the fight. Just the gas tank. Wow, at the end of round 3, he couldn't get off the ground. It was a very insane visual to see him struggling to get off the ground just off pure exhaustion. I'm very interested to see what happened to Reinier in this fight, but it was interesting. Brendan Allen, I think just he initiated, and he was okay with welcoming Reinier de Ridder's grappling. He really welcomed Reinier in every situation. The clinch on the ground, making it a dogfight. And I think he just outdogged Reinier de Ridder tonight. I think that is what we saw. And we have a contender at middleweight now. Brendan Allen shaking up the middleweight division. I say Brendan Allen versus Israel Adesanya. Or Dricus du Plessis. Throw Dricus in there with Brendan Allen, and let's get some movement at middleweight. I just want to see something. But all around, a great performance by Brendan Allen. I was just amazed at seeing Reinier's visual, because that was just insane. Brendan did land a lot of strikes on him, and I think he just, when the grappling wasn't going Reinier's way, he couldn't outpace Brendan at that point. And Brendan was just welcoming, and he was going to wear on Reinier from the first minute all the way until it was called at the end of the 4th round. So, great performance by Brendan Allen. I'm excited to see what is next out of a lot of these fighters on this card. Like I said, if I would give it about an 8.5 out of 10 for this card. Very entertaining night of fights. And I'm very excited to see what's going on next. We got a big card next weekend. Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gane, women's strawweight on the line. Gonna be a crazy night of fights. I'm excited to cover that one, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.